So we've snuck away 4 of the new twin tips from the 2011 F1 range to give you a quick oversight of what they've done. This is the new Acid, which is pretty similar in graphics and outline from the board of this year, the 2010. But if you look closely, you can see they've actually got a 3D carbon cross in the middle, just to give it a little bit more torsional stability. We have the new Skate, which is their kind of free carve, mellow, cruisy twin tip this year, which is essentially the same as last year, but with a slightly different top sheet and graphic. Here we have the new and very popular TX4, which replaces the TX3 from last year. The internals of this board are pretty much the same as last year. They try to improve it, but it already did exactly what they wanted to do. So again, they've just given it another top sheet and some fresh graphics. And then moving on to everybody's favourite high-end board, this is the lovely shiny new Trax 5, or Trax 6 as it is now. Lovely new Trax 6. Obviously the initial thing is, you can see it's white instead of black as it was last year. It keeps the 3D carbon cross, which is giving it the stability to really hold it in at those high speeds. One big change, some pretty hefty channels on the side, which has let these guys really increase the rocker line on the board and keep the tips nice and thin. So you're going to have a lot more kind of manoeuvrability from the board. This is again a lovely bit of kit. One of the things that's changed on all of the twin tip range this year is the new fin system which they have. What I would do is take one out for you so you can have a closer look and see what's going on. Okay, so here's the new twin tip fin system. One of the problems with the fins in the past is they've had to be fairly fat to accommodate the bolts that go through and hold them onto the board. This is obviously an area that's been waiting for some improvement for the last few years. What we've got here is the new, as I say, the Unibox system. You can see how thin the fins are, which means they've got a lot more flex and a lot more shape in them. They're actually an asymmetric fin, so you've got a curved outer and a flat inner, which is going to help with the performance of the board. The way they've done this is by putting almost like a windsurfing power box head on them, just a mini one, which allows them to have a much thinner profile fin, but still have enough meat to stick the bolt in and make sure it's a nice firm fit. Because it's asymmetric, we've put a colour code on the board and the fin, so you can't go too wrong. It's a simple case of inserting it into the board, and then you can lock it in place with this washer system on the other side. Really, really simple, and it makes a big difference to the feel of the board. So here's how it works off the board. You have the head of the fin there, just locks into the washer on the other side of the board and forms a nice seal, and the bolts go through. You're done. So for those of you that are into the surf, you'll be glad to see an even bigger range of surfboards from F1 this year. I got a few extra sizes, but the basic construction is still the same. They're still using the bamboo construction. They've slightly reinforced the fin boxes and the rails as well, to just give them a bit more durability. A couple of new additions, as well as the old stablemates, which I'll take you through. The Fish, which proved to be really popular last year, now has a 5.4 and also a 5.6 in the lineup. So these are super good for the UK conditions. I use mine all the time. Slacker waves, a bit more bump and jump. They fly upwind. They have a really flat rocker line on them, which means they just absolutely cruise upwind. They're really quick as well. So these are really highly recommended, especially in the bigger sizes, for lighter winds and, as I say, for slacker waves. We have the 5.8 still, the 5.10, got the 6.0, the 6.2 and the 6.4. So there really is something for everybody, regardless of ability, size of waves that you ride, and also your weight as well, which comes into play. One other main feature which you'll see on a lot of the regular surfboards is a much more rounded kind of pintail on them, which again, it just makes the whole thing a lot smoother to ride. The bamboo surfboards look quite similar at first glance, but Raph says there's quite a few changes that have gone into some of the key sizes. So we're just going to get him to take us through some of the main points.
We work a lot on 5.8, 5.10 and 6.0. The 6.4 is a new board, so we didn't have to change it. We have now a V in the front, then it's flat under the foot, and then you have V on the back again with double concave, and the outline is also new. What we were trying to do is not too aggressive board, but we want the board to be super easy. In the curves, everywhere, in the wave, you should not think about how to drive your board. You should only think about what you're gonna do on the waves. So the new boards, they get really, you can really lay down in the curve and they will really hold the power. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to think of it. Even choppy, not chop, they go. They do the curves.
Okay. And that's because of the V and the tail helps you get onto the edge?
With the V, you go really easily on the rail, and then you get a lot of stability during the turns. Mm-hmm. So it's a double advantage.
Okay.
Better entry in the curve, and then you're really stable.
Mm-hmm. But the construction's pretty much the same as last year?
Yeah, we run for some little points, but
the boards
bamboo
were good last year,
was, we spent 2 years on the bamboo, so everything was okay. We never had a board broken in two. No delamination under feet, no problem.
Yeah, we know, we had the same thing. And there's a new foot strap as well, is that right? You have a new, for people that are riding strapped in?
We have a new foot strap because the one we had was not adjustable.
Yep.
And now we use the same strap lock system as the twin tip foot straps, but a lot smaller. Mm-hmm. And the front part is holding the strap.
Yep.
And the back part is super small, just to adjust. So you still have a lot of softness.
So you can, you can twist your feet.
Twist the foot strap, depends on one side you are.
Perfect. Well, we're looking forward to giving them a good test to call it a day and get back on the water.